How about we just have doggy style while we each think about our exes?
Wow, they let you call it doggy style?
Yeah.
Man,
What do you call it?
beast mode or hitting it from behind. I call it hitting it from behind if I'm feeling in love.
The accusations won't let up.
Dude, I've been catching gay-gations since I was like 15 years old because I have a high voice and I like think about kissing men romantically. Like, yeah, I've been trying to fight those gations for a while. Not doing myself any favors by the way I act and dress. I've been trying to butch it up. You've seen my last, like, I got into motorcycles and I own guns.
I mean, bro, with this fit right now, you look like a lesbian who works at a vape store.
I look like someone that wants to be like the sergeant of the pedophile hunting squad of the Civil War. You know what I mean?
First platoon, Connecticut Brigade. I'm here to hunt the bad teachers in Texas.
You're like, oh no, I can't be gay. I have guns. Like,
Yeah, people are like, "Oh, dude, you're into guns because you have a small dick." No, I'm into guns because I have a bad dick. There's a difference.
No, you don't understand. I put it in her, the gun.
Man, have you ever? Oh, you don't own guns.
I don't. I grew up in a house with guns, but my roommate owns guns, but I don't own guns.
If there's like a type of girl that if you tell them you own guns, they'll ask them to like hold it against their head while you have sex with them.
Sure, yeah.
And it's like, dude,
But
that's basic
you said
gun
all
safety.
women, right?
Fuck yeah, pretty much these days, man. Thanks to that fucking pill Big Pharma's putting in women's tampons.
Yeah, that's sick of.
that's new, dude. Women are recently into being scared by men.
Yeah, my roommate was like, yeah, you can borrow my gun except for straight sex. My roommate is gay for context. He was like, yeah, feel free to use this gun whenever you want unless you have a woman over.
Women will ask for you to. I've never done it. I've had two women say, "Oh, you want to hold that against my head while we have sex?" And it's like, no, even if it's unloaded.
No, they ask you.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I've been told.
Really?
Put this gun against my neck.
Head. Yeah.
Yeah.
I go, hey, how about we just have missionary sex and then never talk again? Let's do that instead, you know?
How about we just have doggy style while we each think about our exes?
Wow, they let you call it doggy style?
Yeah.
Man,
What do you call it?
beast mode or hitting it from behind. I call it hitting it from behind if I'm feeling in love.
You always go like this.
I did one of these. I'm going in.
JT definitely does the reverse, the hands.
Man, I've had sex like twice and I'm bad at it.
She goes, wow, you got this challenge coin from hunting pedos? Look at all the Punisher skulls in your house, baby.
That's how you know I'm a warrior. It's better to be a warrior in the garden than a gardener at war.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wait, that's really good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Gross shit.
Yeah, that's funny. That's like a quote that like weirdo guys that like think that doing BJJ makes them tough put on their internet. Yeah. And it's funny because like that's quotes from a guy that never went to war. He was just like a good fencer. And so he's like, yeah, just being good at fencing makes you tough, but he never got jungle tested. So it's just a cool thing that guys can put on Instagram now.
It's kind of like how you go to the gym and you'll see a dude who's like got like the pre-workout, he's got like the newest workout clothes, he's got the AirPod in, and he just has like terrible form. And then you see a guy like covered in sawdust and drywall who just came from a bus. And like he's got like broken like folded Timbs and like just like the carpenter pants that you wear, and it's just like he's just putting up weight, you know? Like it's like, Dad, you just do it or you don't do it.
Oh yeah, that's what I try to like go for. I try to steal it. Got these used so they look working class, you know what I mean?
Did you really?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I even cut the bottom so it looks like, oh no, he would, maybe he got into like some sort of sawmill accident.
You know what's really sad? Is like my friend told me like he like I have like these Dickies pants and he's like, how did you get those to look so faded? I'm like, I have owned them for 3 years.
Work in a dish pit.
Not buying new clothes. That's how. Just being too poor to buy new pants. So I have to wear these pants. And he's like, oh, well, for these black pants that I own, he put them on the roof of his car in his driveway, and he put bricks on the pants so that the sun would fade them.
Why? Because they were too black?
They were too black. His pants were too...
Can't you just wash them? And
I don't know. He told me he did, and I looked at him, and they did not look that much older.
That's crazy.
Well, that's like, have you ever seen these people that put jeans on and then just sit in the tub?
Those are for...
That's different.
Wow, we're both... Okay, I don't like that we both... That's a bummer, the type of men that we secretly are. That deep down we're like, well, that's most likely raw denim. And it's kind of like... No, they're kind of like high-end custom-made boots in a sense. Fuck, dude.
Well, here's the thing.
He's been to New York one too many times.
No, I've never done that intentionally, but I am white trash enough that I have jumped into a creek with my jeans on, and I noticed that, like, the jeans fit better.
Yeah.
They do. Like that, so that's an actual thing people do.
I worked at a menswear store where we sold raw denim. Dude, the craziest thing. So one of my best buddies is like this like fancy like
When
fashion
was
dude.
this? Was this?
Dude, I was like 22 and I looked
Sacramento
gnarly
or
as fuck.
Austin?
Austin. It's Service Menswear on South Congress. Things are like $800 there. My bro worked there because he's like actually fancy and like dresses like a cool guy.
Wait. Let's guess his fit right now.
His fit?
He's got a tight Travis Kelce fade.
What's a Travis Kelce fade?
It's just a black
that's
man's
the guy
haircut.
that looks like me, right? No, he's cool. He's got like long hair,
Okay.
but like well kept long hair, not like a long hair.
Luscious.
Luscious, yeah, luscious dude,
okay.
Luscious dude
So he's fucking moving units.
of something, yeah.
Yeah.
Of raw denim jeans at Service Menswear.
That's
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you're not.
No, he worked there and he's like, dude, they pay me $18 an hour.
That's good.
And
10 years ago?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That was fantastic. So he buys me. He pretty much gives me his discount to get a fit from his store that I put on for the interview, like raw denim jeans and like a fucking $60 black T-shirt. And the two older gay guys that own the place are like, "Oh yes, you look like a bearded gross guy, but you dress so crisp." And I was like, "That's me. I dress so crisp." And then like second day I show up at work, gnarly as fuck. Like I didn't have another clean black T-shirt, so I took a black graphic tee and turned it inside out and wore that to the store. And they're like, "Oh, you just turned an old T-shirt inside out." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm making a black tee, man." And you can see like the fucking threads and shit. And at one point they were like, "Hey, you didn't steam that shirt right." And I was like, "Yeah, I did." They were like, "No, you didn't." And I was like, "It's fine, man." They're like, "You have to steam it again." I was like, "Or what?" They would fire me, dude. I already robbed this place blind.
You're like, dude, there's degree stains on the inside of the sleeves.
Dude, at one point, dude,
I'm not gonna do that shirt. I'm not gonna steam that shirt.
I was not a good fit for this role.
This is a woman's dandruff on my shirt because I don't have a bed. I slept there.
I remember sometimes people I know would come in, like people that I knew from like working at like Mohawk or music festivals that were like music industry people, and they'd walk in and they'd go, "Huh, this is one of your day jobs." And I just be like, yeah, stoned out of my mind, stinking like ass.
Is there anything more sad than when you non-ironically or non-degradingly say, "This is one of my day jobs"?
This is one of them.
Oh, bro, like that is like our friend Michael Priest. He had an amazing joke, which was like, it was, "I know the economy's doing great because I have 3 jobs."
No.
Yeah.
Man, that's normal too. It's funny when like you hear about employment numbers ever, and it's always a lie because it's like, yeah, dude, everyone I know has like fucking 3 of these, dude.
Yeah.
There's like, I remember at one point I was working at Bolden Creek Cafe, Juice Land, and Little Darlin', 3 little local businesses, and I worked 7 days a week, and it was like, I don't have any extra money. This is just life.
Yeah, but you also spent money crazy.
Yeah, I'm not good with money.
No.
I the second I have money, I spend it on something.
Yeah.
I love when I have money for a second.
What I'm excited is about how you're going to spend money soon.
Yeah.
He's going to Mexico.
The great state of Mexico. Or city? Mexico City.
You both.
Yeah.
Ciudad de Mexico.
Mexico City's massive too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it is not scary anymore, from what I hear.
Yeah, it's fucking corporate. It's like Disney Times Square. They've got 4 M&M stores, or as they call them, MEM
They
stores.
got 4 Charbucks. They got 4 Charbucks down there, dude. It's nice. Well, if you said, hey, 10 years ago, you would have been like, "Hey, JT, do you want to go to Mexico City?" I'd be like, "No, dude, I want to live. I'm so scared of leaving the country." In my mind, the second you leave America, like they go like Americans and like guys with black masks arrest you and extort you for money because, you know, I've never really left the country.
as if America's such a safe place.
Yeah, I imagine things that happen here over there.
Can you Google mass shootings in Mexico?
I'm sure they have mass shootings there.
I'm not saying they
just
don't,
call it, you
but
know,
where did they get the
They
guns
call it
from?
Plata Grande. That's the reason it doesn't come up if you search mass shootings, is because in Mexico they call it like La Plata
We got
Grande.
a Starbucks on every calle.
I looked up, the first thing I searched in Mexico was Mexico City weed legal.
Right?
Yeah, I'm 30 years old.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I said. Mexico City weed legal. I was like, I got dude, I swear to God, I lived with this Venezuelan dude named Gabriel.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, this is true. He was telling me about living in, oh fuck, dude. He was telling me about living in Venezuela, and I can't remember the exact phrasing.
Which is an actual place to be scared
Yeah,
of.
he left his
Not
6-year-old.
Mexico.
He left his 6-year-old daughter there to
Venezuela.
come and work here, and he just sends her boxes of toys back, and he's like, here, there, worth hundreds. He's like, these toys in Venezuela worth hundreds. But he's always smoking weed, and he told me he was like, I had this phrase back home, dinero, mota, conchita. And I was like, oh, that's like your phrase. He's like, yeah. And then I Googled it, and it's pussy money weed. And I was like, you did not come up with pussy money weed, Gabriel. He also told me, he was like, in Venezuela, I was a famous TV star. He's like, it was kind of like the Friends of TV.
And my
Venezuela.
catchphrase is, I would hit things and they would fix.
Hey!
I always wore a leather jacket. I was called, I don't know, Fonzie.
Dude, another time, when I first started jiu-jitsu, he was like, oh, you know, in Venezuela, I was actually a karate champion. And he goes, but a lot of people didn't even know I trained karate, so they called me the Ghost. And I was like, you were the nationwide karate champion known as the Ghost. And then 2 months later, he goes, you know, before he's actually a cook at Uchiko. And he's like, before I cooked at Uchiko, I did a competition in Venezuela, but because I didn't work at any restaurants, they called me the Ghost. And I was like, okay, not everyone's just calling you the Ghost, Gabrielle.
You know, for a while I was a fighter pilot in Kiev, Ukraine. they called me the Fonz. I mean the Ghost.
And here's the thing: is like I kind of believe everything he said. We're like, I can't prove him wrong. Like, I can't.
You're like, you know, who am I to call him a liar? I have 7 day jobs.
He has one.
7 of them are at the same serviceman clothier.
He's never been late for rent either. He was
Really?
the hardest working guy I've ever met. Yeah.
Shout out to Gabriel.
Gabriel. Oh, absolute rule.
Are you sure it
dude.
wasn't Gabriel?
Maybe it was. I don't know. We weren't close.
Look, we were all on meth.
Yeah.
It was.
He also had the craziest TV I've ever seen in my life. It was like he jailbroke the TV, and he had also the nuttiest
It had a McDonald's
channels.
menu on it.
You
ever seen those? You ever seen those?
Absolutely.
People will steal the fucking monitors from McDonald's, sell it on Marketplace. People will buy the TV, plug it in, and they're only programmed to have the menu. They put it in and they go, fuck, I've been tricked. I got a seasonal McDonald's and all it has is McFish. All it has is the Lent fish special. Sorry, I cut you off.
Dude, the channels he had, like one of the channels was just monster trucks all the time.
Yeah.
Like it was unreal. I'm arrested. Where'd you get this? And he's like, I have a friend that can get us tons of stuff like this. And he also had a doctor that came over. At least he said he was a doctor. It was an old Chinese guy that would give him a massage.
Yeah.
And then one time, his daughter took like 3 of my Diet Cokes from the fridge. And I was like, there's no way that this is common decor for a doctor's visit. You are not a doctor. And the guy didn't speak English. He only spoke Chinese. And so he talked to his daughter in Chinese. And then his daughter would talk in Spanish to Gabrielle. And so it was this crazy like 3-way translation. And I was like, this is no way you're a doctor. You just massage him.
This is intersectionality.
Yeah. Gabrielle ruled, dude.
By the way, welcome to the show, everyone.
Welcome to the show.
With me, as always, is my dear friend and co-host.
JT Kelley, and joined by...
Me is him is Sam Castillo.
Wait, I'm JT Kelley.
I'm Gabriel. I'm the Ghost.
They call me the Ghost.
And our wonderful producer, the Ghost, Jimmy Clifford.
Jimmy Clifford. Oh man, dude, that's the thing is like if he only told me one of those stories, if he was only like, yeah, dude, no one knew me from restaurants, so they called me the Ghost, or no one knew me from karate schools, I had my own dojo, so they called me the Ghost. But both of them, I'm like, two independent.
But that
people.
is pretty cool to just like go around and lie all the time.
Yeah, and honestly,
Yeah,
it's
it's a
so
pretty
sick.
cool. It's a cool move.
here's another thing: is on his Instagram one time he posted a footage of him like clearly on a sitcom. So the TV thing was at least mostly true. Like but then I asked.
Oh, he was
Francisco,
on Mike and Molly, yeah.
I asked Francisco Ricon. I was like, "Have you seen this guy before?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "No." And I was like, "He said that he was one of the most famous men in Venezuela." And he's like, "Venezuela doesn't have famous men. We don't even have TVs." And I was like, "Why do you drive a Mercedes?"
I just like the idea of him, like the lost in translation. No, they're calling you the creep because you breathe down the host's neck.
Roughly translate as the demon from hell.
Hey, Gabriel, about 15 paces backwards. Huh? Stick to your station, huh?
Yeah. It was funny. Another time he told me, he goes, "I worked on the hydroelectrical dam in Venezuela." And no, I swear to God, he said to me,
They
he
don't
goes,
have a hydroelectricity in there.
he said,
Now I know you're lying.
you know what? He also showed me a photo of him in heavy machinery. I swear to God. And he said, this is the funniest. He goes, "I was a mechanic, but I was also an engineer. There's no word for it in English. I was like a mechangineer." And I was like, "Do you mean like a mechanical engineer?" He goes, "It's different." And I was like, all right, dude, I don't know Venezuelan Spanish. But yeah, mota, dinero, conchita. You coined that.
Well, welcome to LA. what can
Man, his best friend was named Vladimir, and he was like the super pro-communist son of Cuban people from Mexico. And he'd always tell us, he's like, don't listen to him about politics. He's like, Cubans are crazy. He's like, everyone knows that Cubans are insane up here. Like, I love that you guys don't get along. That's
Oh, man.
hilarious.
Yeah, we've been on a piss and a tear when we came in here.
Yeah.
Good
Oh, yeah.
day.
Good
You
day.
got those numbers. It's been a really happy day. You got those numbers on mass shootings in Mexico?
Well, it says here, this article is called "Covering Gringo Style Shootings in Mexico."
I love that. I love that it's been codified in race.
That white boy shit.
Yeah, so there was 1,100 homicides in 2012 for a city of under 1 million people, which seems
That's bad.
high.
That's not good.
It seems pretty high.
If you asked me in 2012, will I go to Mexico? I'd say, no way, Jose. Or Sam, if it was Sam asking me. I
No,
don't-
but now Mexico's so safe. It's so Giuliani cleaned up Mexico City.
They did start doing stop and frisk in Mexico City, so it's safe now.
Yeah, and but now you're going, and where JT wants to go is very funny. He wants to go to the North Korean embassy.
It's the only embassy for North Korea in the Americas. I think that's such a rare experience. I want to go in there and see, like, you know, their tables made of ticky-tacky. I want to see the propaganda they have on the walls. I feel like that's such a rare experience. But I tell people that, and they either assume I, like, love North Korea.
Right.
Or they assume I have something nefarious planned.
Right.
Like, I tell people that, and they go, "Oh, what are you going to do?" And I'm like, "What do you mean? I want to be a friendly envoy from Texas. I want to be the Texas delegate going, howdy, how you doing, North Korea? Come on to Texas," and try to pull this shit, you know.
And I always tell people, no, he just loves North Korea.
Yeah, why not?
See, now this is a bad statistic. This one says that since 2015, the national homicide rate in Mexico has increased by 76.3%.
Really? Okay, so I don't mean to make this racial. I don't mean to make this racial.
But how many white tourists are
But
going
yeah,
down there?
yeah, how many white tourists are dying?
No. Oh, I meant how many are causing these shootings.
Yeah, we going to? Oh yeah, our biggest export, white boy shit.
I was gonna say how many Codys are like going down there on mission trips and are getting some fucking extracurricular work out there.
The only time I've been to Mexico was to go to Tijuana when I was a kid, and it was because our church went down there to build houses, which is like hilarious
It's
because
my
it's like
favorite thing
the
in
most
the world.
condescending thing to do to a
Because
Mexican.
Mexicans don't know how to build a house.
Yeah, as we were driving there, all of their men were driving across the border to work for the
build
day.
our houses.
To build our, and we're like, "Oh, we brought plywood from the American Home Depot. We're gonna build a literal shack on the side." It was a literal shack we built on the side of the dirt, and we all held hands and sang worship songs in Spanish too. And it was like,
Y'all are singing the only song you know, which is Feliz Navidad.
yeah, where it was, In mi corazon. Dante? In mi corazon. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Burning, 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 burning in me core. The English one is I got joy, joy,
Oh,
joy,
yes, yes.
joy down in my heart. Where? Down in my heart. Where? Down in my heart. But the Spanish version, a little sadder. I got a shack, 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 shack on this piece of dirt. Where? Side of the fucking hill.
No, it's not. You called it. I like the idea that you're like, oh yeah, we're not gonna go build houses.
Not a house.
We're gonna go build them a shack.
It's 4 walls and a roof.
That's what you get.
Yeah.
You get a shack.
Oh, you'll be thankful. Yeah, 40 of us came down here to do this with our families. By the way, we expect you to feed us. They did feed us big beans and rice pots. What is cool about Tijuana at the time, I don't know if this is what's going on now,
Right.
but like if you don't love and respect Mexicans, you're an idiot. Because even the guys that are living in those shacks on
They're
the
the
side of the
best.
dirt here in Tijuana,
Yeah.
they have fucking satellite dishes. They have fucking antennas that look like they're ham radios.
They're gonna get the game.
Yeah, 100%. They go, 100%. They go, yeah, no, my living conditions not great, but my living conditions, great.
My conditions of living low, standards of living high. That's what it is.
Okay, so white people don't get killed in Mexico, though, right?
I mean, no.
Okay. At least not like American white
Let's
people.
go change that, huh?
Yeah. Let's go see what happens when I storm the DPRK's embassy. I'm gonna do January 6th, Mexican style. Hey, we're taking our little tradition south of the border, baby. I'll see the Patriots at the gates.
Oh man, get out of JT's comments and hit the border, huh? This feels like a good time to talk about the border.
Yeah. Oh,
Sure, we have some hyperlinks in the doc about the border.
We
You
have
want to talk
some
about that now? Or you want to save it for later?
Well, let's talk about the border. So, I don't think, and I like.
Yeah, if you go right there below where it says 2024 election, yeah, those. I feel like that one's the first one. But you talk about what you want to talk about first.
Well, you put it best when we were talking about this in general, where it's
Yeah.
like the border is going to be not only the #1 issue for this election year,
Yeah.
but like a majority of the content and media that we're going to see over the next year is going to be about the border crisis.
It's February. By like May or June, when like the summer gets real hot, we don't have reliable water and electricity. They're going to be bringing up the border a lot.
Yeah.
And they're going to tell you a lot. So they're going to tell you a lot of things, which is like, hey, you know what would make like this summer more easy on our electrical grid? Like not having to air condition like site refugee camps on the border, not having to fucking do this, not having to do that. Like,
Don't you want water?
They're gonna make you question the whole concept of like of the concept of immigration.
Yeah.
Which is if everyone was born here.
And also, like, even the most right-wing people, even the most anti-immigration people,
From a cynical perspective.
even like, if you think that only the best people should immigrate, I wouldn't even necessarily disagree with you. But let's say someone bad comes over, that's a paperwork problem. Like, if someone migrates illegally, the only action they haven't taken is paperwork. And you want to fucking torture people for bureaucracy? That's the lamest, least Republican thing I've ever heard in my life, dude. Fucking my 90s Republican dad, if you asked him, hey, do you think you should put people in little fucking hot boxes in prisons for not doing paperwork? He'd be like, what? Are you fucking kidding me? No, I'm from Arkansas, dude. Paperwork's demonic, you know?
Hey, do you think we should spend your taxpayer dollars? First of all, he'd go, no.
Yeah, it's absolutely not.
And then you'd go with him and say, hey, do you want to help Obama build a win? And he would say no. And then you go, what's the win? And they'd say, a detention center for children. Who would say yes to that of any political ideology? And the only people who would call that a win would be Obama and the lobbyists who build the holding cells for the children who paid him to pass that law.
The villains from the Netflix talks that are going to come out in 15 years. Yeah. Like the guys that are going to be in like 15 years and old and they're talking to a camera like they weren't 100% certain as to what was going on. Those are the only guys.
It's the rich people who are building these mega cities in Honduras who are actually going to be winning, which we'll get to in a minute. But let's talk about the border here.
Oh, yeah.
So while the border is the biggest issue, one of the funnier stories that we found in the last couple of weeks is, first of all, I think our favorite. Can I speak for the group?
Yeah, absolutely.
Our favorite representative, Fetterman. He's the John Goderman.
He rules, dude.
John Goderman is like the funniest representative in general, but he's married to an immigrant, and as soon as she's like, yo, I want to get a divorce, he's like, I think we should be harder on immigration.
We gotta deport him. Here's the thing is, like, he went to college and became, like, a smart guy, and then he was like, oh, I'm gonna go and be, like, an establishment politician. And
Right.
pretty early on,
Smart
like,
guy move.
Mossad hit him with that microwave gun to the brain, and so
Sure.
now he just kind of, like, mumbles talking points thought up by, like, think tanks.
Yeah.
But I do believe, probably in college, he was, like, a guy that was like, man, let's get this shit straight. You know what, man? I'm from a small town in Pennsylvania. Let's get this shit straight. And then, like, pretty early on in college, he was like, wait, you can make how much money? Give me my favorite Carhartt sweater and exercise shorts. And get me on TV.
He dresses like me and JT.
He does. I go, oh, it's me. That's
What I like about Goderman is that I like knowing that there's a senator who dresses like he works at two different juice lands.
yeah.
The fact that he shows up in hoodies with stains. The fact that you would tell him, go steam that shirt again, and he would go, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck.
Fuck you.
He wouldn't go, oh wait, I'm a senator. He would his knee-jerk reaction would be, oh shit, where? That's what I like about Goderman the most. But what's great about him is just like how just like how vindictive he is.
I'm not progressive, Fetterman told NBC News in an article published on Friday. I just think I'm a Democrat that's very committed to choice and other things. But with Israel, I'm going to be on the right side of that. And immigration is something near and dear to me. And I think we have to effectively address it as well. You go, damn, whoever wrote that for you, smart dude, that sounds good.
What does Israel have to do with immigration? It's like you're getting divorced and your knee-jerk reaction is like, close the borders because my wife is from another country and she came here without papers.
Holy shit.
What the hell does a war in the Middle East have to do with that?
Is that true that over 250,000 apprehensions at the U.S.-Mexican border in September alone?
Yeah.
That is a lot of people.
There's another crazy statistic in the Google Doc as well about the amount of people who come to this country.
Now, 250,000 sounds like a lot, but I think we should just give them one small town in Wisconsin per month.
I'm a fool. I didn't include it in the doc. But sorry, you said what?
If 250,000 people a month, we can fix tons of shitty cities.
Well,
if we
I mean,
250,000 people. Okay.
Not to. I don't.
September,
No.
We
I
send
don't,
you to Tulsa,
I don't disagree with you.
and then November we send you to Wichita.
Here,
Dude, a fucking 250,000 ass fucking Guatemalans and Afghanis.
I don't disagree with you. But I have to pose another question back to you, which is, what would a fixed Tulsa look like?
A whole lot more Mexicans, first off.
The other thing is, not to put my nationalist hat on, but
Because I usually wear it underneath my sweater.
because it's covered in lube in my bullets right now.
You pull out your silent brotherhood necklace.
But we also just have a lot of unemployed Americans who could fix this country.
Yeah.
If we just did a somewhat version of a New Deal, a newer deal,
A newer
bill.
deal. I like that that's kind of like the talking points that they pretend that Biden's doing right now, too. And people talk as if he's
Just
trying to
public
pass a
works.
newer deal. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is something where it's like, dude, if we actually had that, if the government was like, hey, everyone over the age of 18, if you want a job fixing the fucking roads, just fixing the roads, you can do it.
No. Now, you have to look back at precedents of what the New Deal was so you can actually do it right.
What was the New Deal?
We built the Tennessee Valley River Authority. We built like electricity for the Appalachians. We built the Hoover Dam. We built schools. You're saying we should build new roads.
No.
What I'm saying is we should put metal detectors in every elementary school and put guns in all the teachers' hands. That's not going to do itself. That's the first newer deal.
That's the only deal that I think would be new to me.
When I
would be
drop
more
off my
guns to
child,
teachers.
I want to feel like I'm at the Tel Aviv airport.
Mentally, I need them to be in a war zone so they're prepared for life. All right, it's not going to be easy out there. Okay?
I'm not trying to raise a gardener. I'm trying to raise a warrior.
Better a warrior in preschool than a preschooler at war, is what I've always said. 250,000
Yeah, this is my daughter, Ilhan O'Rourke.
Dude, Do you remember when Beto put that video of him out kick flipping at Whataburger?
Of course.
And every smooth brain ass fucking like right below boomer, like Gen X dude was like, okay, buddy, okay. That's like if I saw Fetterman dressed like me and I go, oh yeah, things are about to pick up around here, buddy.
Whenever I saw that, I just thought, we gonna be all right.
We gonna be all right.
Man, I thought, Mota, dinero, Conchita.
Venezuela style. Oh man, yeah, that video was so huge, and it was like every worm in my brain was like, don't let them MK Ultra.
That's what he
you.
called pussy. In the Mexican slang, it's called cosita.
Cosita.
Yeah. Oh, is that what he was saying?
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, oh, there's just different slang for it in Venezuela. Maybe.
I don't really. Yeah, I know he said
'Cause
mota.
in Mexico, it's cosita.
I know he said dinero.
Little thing.
But
That's
I
what
think
they
he
call it,
said
a little thing.
It was either cosita, conchita. Little
Conchita,
pussy.
yeah. Conchita would be like little conch shell.
Yeah.
Which she could be.
That's the slang I know, but because I dated a Chilean girl. And she said conchita is like the dirtiest way you can say pussy in dirty talk in Spanish.
Nice.
Yeah, I called it her conchita while I hit it. I came very quick. Dude, if you're gonna let me hit it bilingual style, bilingual
Is there a Jimmy Cam?
Damn it! Blast the Jimmy Cam.
I think that's the thumbnail. Would be
the Jimmy Cam.
is us doing a stanky leg eye, doing the Stephen Hawking. Yo, I hope these tires on this chair are off-roading. I got all-wheel drive on this chair for the island sand. I'm trying to feel the island sand in my. I'm trying to feel the island hair in my wind in my hair and island sand in my treads.
Could you imagine your first day as a prostitute and then that guy shows up and you're like, boy, do I got my work cut out for me. You're like, why couldn't I have gotten one of the royals who just doesn't sweat?
I'm gonna need hazard pay.
Well, he didn't even fuck him. He just made him do hard math equations.
Right.
Just to dunk on their asses.
No, they were doing the trigonometry to see how they wouldn't break his body before they mounted him. They're like, hold on, the hypotenuse.
The funniest thing is before we got outed homeboy for that Epstein shit, he was
Right.
also someone that cheated on his wife, which just
He was a
within
dog.
itself is
Twice.
so funny.
Yeah.
He cheated on 2 wives.
So like obviously infidelity is heartbreaking, destroys family, blah, 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 blah. This is a guy that had to use a computer to talk and couldn't walk and got like 4 times the amount of pussy as me. Like I couldn't cheat on my wife if I tried. Like if I tried to cheat on my wife, it would just be me getting caught with text messages that are unreplied to.
Yo, he was a goater. He was a goaterman.
Yeah, dude, he was an absolute goaterman of the pussy, for sure.
Oh, fuck. Well, okay, 500,000
A month is nuts. It is.
One of the numbers that I had pulled up was like it was like nearly 1,000 apprehensions a day are people with a criminal record, which you can misconstrue. You can say like they had that's like all hearsay.
We have criminal records.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's I mean,
Have you been arrested before?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have criminal records.
So that's not really that. It's one of those talking points that's meant to scare you.
No.
But one of the things that they will do to scare you is the next bullet, which is that they will manufacture these stories where people who are actually linked to terror are trying to come across the southern border.
I have a pretty smooth brain. I can be honest about this.
Yeah,
I was scrolling TikTok and I saw a video of this guy.
Yeah.
I don't know if we have the video up, but it's just this guy and he's like, it says it's at the border, and this guy's saying, if you have any idea who I was, you wouldn't talk to me like that.
If you go to the last one,
And then
there's a video in that one, yeah.
All of the comments
Oh
on
no,
the
no,
video.
I'm so sorry. Like you had it up that the one in that section. Go up, yeah, where it says right.
Islamic Party of, because it's all
Yes,
saying
that
it's this
one right there.
Azerbaijani guy. Or and so I didn't Google it or anything. I just sent it straight to Sam, Movsum Sumedov. So I actually remember this guy being in the news when he was arrested. He was like a real
Maybe
ass
just
political
Google his
prisoner.
name,
I don't know
border
if
crossing.
he's like I don't know his politics,
TikTok,
but I remember
that
he
link
was
right
kind
there.
of
If you hyperlink
given-
it up, or it says in blue TikTok. I'm so sorry to talk over you.
No,
you
not
do
at all.
talk.
The only reason I know this is like, do you remember on Facebook when people would just try to share like the deepest cut on political news in like 2014, 2015?
For sure, yeah.
That was like what's going to get the most likes.
Yeah.
I saw this guy before, and so I recognized him. I was like, oh yeah, the political prisoner guy. I remember this. I sent it to you, but you immediately debunked it. You just Googled it. I didn't even Google it. I didn't even look it up. I sent it right to you. I was like, oh dude, this guy's at the border, and he was like a political prisoner in Azerbaijan. He's like what would you call like a technically pro-jihad political party that's not a Ba'athist? He's not a Ba'athist.
He's a
but-
jihadist.
Yeah, and jihadist sounds like really intense, but like politically, jihadist just means waging war for Islam. And if you are a Christian and you've thought about joining a Christian nationalist organization, pretty similar, right? Or if you're a Ba'athist, you're like borderline socialist type stuff, like. In the Middle East, tying in Islam with pretty much any political line isn't shocking. So anyone that's pro-war revolution is going to be a jihadist.
What? Okay, so if you want to just like silently, like if you want to scroll until there's an actual video, this is like someone reacting to it. If you can, yeah.
I
Like,
have boomer brain. I saw it and I go, oh, this guy's a jihadist crossing the border for America.
yeah. Okay. Keep going. Okay. Yeah. This is her saying, okay, this video right here. Yeah. So right there, there's a guy who's crossing the border, and it's clearly staged because the southern border is a very treacherous piece of land. That land, so many people die a day.
Yeah,
famously try to die trying to traverse that harsh land because there's no water, there's no shade,
Because they hate our freedoms.
Because they hate they're jealous. And
They're jealous of our freedoms,
they're
so
petty.
they crawl across our desert.
They petty.
They petty.
And if you see that video, there's a guy who's like in a blazer eating Panera.
Yeah,
Just like
straight up.
Just walking upright.
It looks like he just got off job like of a dentist. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Smart enough, you will know who I am, but you are really not smart enough to know who I am. But soon you're gonna know who I am. Very easy.
Wow, very easy. The entitlement.
So she goes, I'm not going to even try to say his name.
The entitlement,
Movzum
guys.
Samadov.
That also
That's
is
his name.
very funny to say. I'm not even going to try to say his name. It's like, well, it's 2 syllables.
Now-
dude. That's a pretty funny within itself.
I'm going to spread, and the video starts with her saying, as a first generation Mexican American, as someone whose parents immigrated from Mexico, we need to close the southern border.
Yeah.
And secondly, I'm going to spread misinformation during an election year, but I'm not going to even try to say his name.
Yeah, that's a Fetterman voter, baby.
That is.
That's a Fetterman voter, baby. That's a Fetterman voter right there.
What is so crazy about the Movzum Samadov stories? So to give you context of who he is, he's an Azerbaijani, and this is one of those things where like, okay, yeah, by all intents and definitions, he's a terrorist by like what he's practiced, but he's a terrorist in the eyes of the Azerbaijani government because the Azerbaijani government is a false democracy ran by a dictator.
And also, I don't think he actually took up arms. I think that's part of is that he was arrested for weapons that
It was conspiracy.
That his claim that his claim is like, this is a setup. And obviously you don't know who's being honest, the corrupt government or the guy that wants to overthrow the corrupt government with a group of Islamists,
force.
right? Yeah, like which one of those guys is playing his full cards
Which
with
is
you?
not our business to judge,
Yeah,
frankly.
not my country, not my business.
Our business. Who cares? So, like, no, really, that's not. I'm petty, but like, that's their thing.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not nosy.
No, not at all.
I'm not trifling.
I think
And-
Azerbaijani should take care of their Azerbaijani business, baby. If you want to send them over to us, I'm fine with that.
Sounds like Azerbaijani need to work on yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. Because like,
Some reflection time, Azerbaijan. We'll say it. Cancel us for it. Azerbaijan, get it together.
yeah, let's get it going. Cancel the Azerbaijani, the country.
You done.
Yeah, done. Yeah, this is an Armenian podcast.
We don't recognize Azerbaijan.
Armenia forever. Yeah, if there's one thing we like about Mexico is the North Korean embassy.
I want to go. I want to go.
Also the food and the mota.
Yeah.
And the dinero.
Is,
and the
is weed good in Mexico?
No, it's not that good.
I've heard it's bad.
No, it's not that good.
Yeah, and we call it marijuana, which is like makes me think that like if I go to the place where they speak Spanish, marijuana would be high end, you know? Kind of like if you go to Jamaica and you think the coffee's going to be good because they got Blue Mountain Coffee or whatever it's called.
I feel like the weed would be better in Jamaica than it is.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought coffee before weed. Yeah. Do you think Jamaican weed's good?
For sure. I mean, it's part of their religion. The
Yeah, part of my
Rastafarians.
religion too, baby.
With the Father, the Son,
Yeah, Holy Spirit.
and that Holy Mary, and my roommate Ghost.
Me, my roommate Ghost, split in an eighth.
But this is like one of the tactics they use during these election years. Is they and Movsum Samadov has been in a federal prison in Azerbaijan for like a decade and got out a few months ago and cannot leave his country.
It'd be pretty hard for him to come here.
He cannot. There's no one who could smuggle him out of there. There's no way for him to get to America. And for him to come through the southern border is ludicrous. He's also like 75 years old. I don't think he could safely traverse on foot like that passage. Secondly, that's a photo from him from like 20 years ago, and admittedly he kind of looks like the guy in the video, but if you Google Movsum Samadov 2024, he looks 20 years older. He doesn't look like the guy
Looks
in the
like
video.
someone that's been in a bad prison for 20 years.
These are the several things that they're going to stage to terrorize mentally and emotionally Americans into voting, period. They don't care which party you vote for because both options are the same. What they fear most is that you just don't vote and legitimize this false political system that we have. So all they can do now is terrorize you into the idea and the actual followership of voting, period.
I've never had an election season I've been alive for that wasn't the most important election season of
Turns
our
out every single one of
lifetime.
them.
Yeah, every single one of them. Turns out, gun to my head, if we don't vote, the world's gonna fucking end, dude. I gotta vote. I don't even, honestly, dude, I would not even know where to begin.
Hey, take that, you know what? Take that gun off of my head and put it in my shotties, because she's into that, okay?
That's just bad gun safety.
Okay.
Just bad gun safety, even if it's unloaded.
I'm trying to get her wet right now.
Yeah, that's never gonna happen.
No.
Never a girl's been like, oh yeah, JT dirty talk me or something. Get me all juiced up, dude. If I'm gonna fuck a chick, she already better be wet when I get
Yeah,
there.
you're married. That's never...
She's not like, oh, I'm so horny, I saw you shirtless or something.
I wish I had a slide whistle. That's all I wanted to talk about the southern border is that it is the most important issue. There are tons of people crossing it every single day. There are tons of people getting stopped and apprehended. There are tons of people who are coming without criminal records. There are tons of people coming with criminal records. There are lots, and there are going to be more and more staged interactions that appear to be terrorist in nature so that you think about the border every single day, so that you are motivated to vote for whatever party that you're tricked into voting.
Yeah.
As long as it's the two.
And they're gonna handle it the same way.
They're
They're
going
gonna handle it the same exact way.
Obama built the detention centers. Trump put the kids in them.
I guarantee
it's the same.
What we're
It's the same.
positioning ourselves for. I have two conspiracy theories I want to share. I think
ahead.
the first one is the reason that you see all spectrums of media call it an invasion in some way or another.
Correct.
Is because we want at some point to just mow them down.
Yes.
At some point, we are just going to mow down people that are seeking refuge. We're going to mow them down with machine guns.
You have to up the
That's
language.
The plan.
You have to up the language to invasion.
Invasion.
Yes, you have to
We're gonna
start
hear
with
that
the
more.
language.
The second thing, and I don't know if I've talked to you about this yet, I believe that the conversation about Guam and its statehood or rights as a colony is going to be on the forefront of our conversation because that's a necessary point for any type of Pacific theater.
Correct.
And so I think over the next year, people for the first time are going to learn that we have a relationship with Guam that's similar to what we did to Puerto Rico or even,
Hawaii.
Yeah, but Hawaii we gave statehood.
I mean, Puerto Rico, they don't want statehood.
Yeah, it's mixed. I mean, I don't think they
There
want
are
statehood.
people who do want it because then they can actually be absolved of the political debt that we put them into.
Yeah.
So the financial debt. So
I'm pretty sure, I might be
there
remembering
are-
this wrong, but I'm pretty sure Barack Obama did something crazy as far as
preventing Puerto Rico from ever being a state.
it didn't he at one point make them responsible for because we have crazy like embargo laws in our own colony to where if I send a banana to Puerto Rico, they have to pay like fucking $15 to take it off a boat or whatever.
Yeah.
And so he put in some sort of stipulations that like paid down some of that, but then put that towards their debt. But that's my conspiracy, is that in the news, you're going to start seeing talking points about Guam and our relationship with Guam and the military base that we have there and the small population
You
that's
have
there.
to get
of
closer to the
natives.
South Chinese Sea.
Yeah,
You have to get closer.
Because that is, in every type of war games we've ever played, that's the first place that any foreign power would attack. Because it is our, kind of our jumping point to anywhere in the Pacific. And so we're going to start talking about it in the news in the same way that we talk about the border. And when we start seeing that in the news, I want you to say, JT, you Nostradamus of conspiracies. That is incredible that you called this. And I say, yeah. And if it doesn't show up in the news, I was just kidding.
JK for real, JK.
Yeah, that was just kidding.
Yeah, no. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Don't they have a really cool name for the Marine base out there too? It's named after, I think, like the first native Marine from Guam.
Yes, sir, the Patriot Pedo Hunter Battalion.
I'm in the pedo hunting platoon. I'm the one that finds those cross-dressing teachers. I can spot them from a mile away.
We're in Chris's Angels. Chris Kyle's Angels.
Me and Ghost found this drag queen teacher.
What was the second conspiracy? The first conspiracy is that they are going to push for Guam or Guamese or Chamorro statehood.
Chamorro statehood. Not even necessarily Chamorro statehood. It's
Well,
just
that's
going to
just
become in part of the conversation.
Right.
It's going to take the first one is that we're going to start calling it an invasion intentionally so we can start mowing them down.
We're going to change. We're going to up the language with the Mexican southern border to a violent place so that we can begin violence. And the second one is that we're going to throw out the lobby at the idea of Guam statehood.
I think a lot of people like you and me, people that are like, I'm a Seymour Hersh, David Talbot, Julia Brown fan. You know what I mean? People that like the type of news.
Don't throw out my laundry like that. Okay? I don't want people to think I'm an egghead, dude.
Wait, Julia K. Brown, right? That's the Miami Herald person I'm thinking, the one that wrote about Epstein. People that like that type of reporting, I think a lot of them would agree with us that we're going to start talking about mowing down people.
Bro.
I think the Guam one, that's specifically me, baby. That's from my head. That's baby boy Einstein right here coming up with this Guam thing. I want to be known for it. I want to be known that in July, when on CNN, they're like, the conversation about Guam's taking over this country. I want them to go, oh, JT called his shot.
Hey, wake up, people in Fargo, North Dakota. You're going to have to learn that Guam is a place.
Oh, is it cold there and you're hungry? Oh, do like 1/3 of your children go to school without a good breakfast? We need to talk about Guam.
It's time to talk about Guam.
I think the funniest thing about places like Guam or Puerto Rico or Hawaii is the way that we have like missionaries there and like the way that like, because my brother was involved in like mission trips in Uganda, and he's like, essentially like a right-wing Christian, like pretty reasonable pastor overall. I'd say like softly right-wing, kind of libertarian.
Yeah.
But even when he was there, he was like, yeah, we shouldn't be doing this. He's like, I saw kind of the inner workings of the missionary stuff there, and I think if we want to be good Christians, we should just give the Christians their money and leave them alone.
Not
it's like
good.
Yeah, man. The missionaries are never really doing the Lord's work when we're out there.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that like we'll do for the next episode, because I actually was reading about this more and more. My friend is from Guam, and she lives in DC, and just a lot of her stories has been like the Air Force is just annexing more and more public land off of the island of Guam, not even to build more, just because they're polluting it and it's unlivable now, to where they're like, we're just going to annex this land so that no one bothers to live on it.
It's wild. Like, the more you learn about Guam, I mean, Puerto Rico, sure, stuff like that, but like Guam specifically, it is our overseas army base. It's our like little mini Germany. You know what I mean? It is our fucking stronghold of the Pacific.
My brother was stationed there for a while.
Oh, you really? In Guam?
Yeah, for like a few weeks.
Man.
Yeah, and I have friends in college who were stationed there.
Man, I don't
Yeah.
think I've ever actually met a Chamorro person before.
They're nice.
Yeah, rare. A rare type of person. I've met, I think, every race but the Chamorro. I've met a Chinese, a Japanese, a Korean.
Go ahead and list them off.
I've
Cypher.
met Taiwanese. I've met English people, Scottish people, Irish people. Pretty much every.
That's right.
Yugoslavian fallen state. Bosnians, Serbians, Croatians, met tons of those types.
Let them cook.
Russians, Ukrainians, Mexicans, Guatemalans,
Don't
Honduras, Polynesians. Oh, we know a Fujian person. That's a rare person.
Maybach.
And Canadians. Even I met a Native American Canadian, not just a Canadian, but like an Inuit type person.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I would love to add a Chamori. If you're a Chamori watcher, DM me, man. We'll FaceTime. I'll learn a little bit about your culture, tell you what I think about Guam. You're welcome.
It's time to learn about Guam.
Yeah, let me sit your ass down. Sit at my feet. Let me break off some game for you about your homeland.
Let me go.
Hit it, Jimmy style.
All right.
Jimmy, you could do an OnlyFans. I think you have a good body.
Oh, yeah, thank you. It's not as good as you think, man.
Do you know why I think you have a good body? It's because it's normal, but you have an athletic build naturally.
You're also tall, but not too tall.
Yeah.
As a short man, I can objectively.
Yeah, thank you.
As someone who
You're
says-
6'1"?
3.
Yeah, I'm 6 foot technically, is what my ID says.
There you go.
My driver's license says 6 foot.
Man, I'm glad. Okay, now I'm getting glad there ain't a Jimmy Cam.
Yeah, well, you're not like ripped, but you have muscles. You seem like you could play a sport, but you don't train all the time. I feel like if I was gonna watch
Plus
porn,
you're married.
Yeah, plus you're married.
That is such
Means
a
you lay pipe.
novelty in amateur porn.
Yeah, being married.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because you want to see them love each other.
You want the intimacy.
You want-
because
Yeah, but
that's
I-
what you can't get.
But isn't it so uncomfortable when you meet the couples that are married to each other?
I
Like
mean,
porn star, like they fuck other people,
Oh.
but they're like, yeah, we're like the director.
Yeah, but I mean, do you and your wife go to work together?
No.
Sam makes a good point, man. My wife always every time with a like polyamory or like a polygamy comes up on TV, I always say like, "Hey, let's get you a sister wife, right?" Or some shit like that. I always make that same. And every single time she's like, maybe I need brother husbands." And every single time I'm like, "That sounds awesome. I love your taste in men. I love hanging out with dudes. I would love to take a couple days off. I have no problem." And every time it upsets her, but every time I'm like, "Yeah, dude."
It doesn't even.
Every time it upsets her, I'm like, why not? I love hanging out with my boys. You want to add another dude to the mix? Yeah, I'm not going to sleep in the same bed as you guys. That's gross. He has to he can't live here or anything. Not in a house I pay for. If he wants to spend on bills with us, I'm even more down. If he's like, oh, we're going to split the cost of living, I'd be like, yo.
Yeah, we'll get him a cabana in Mexico with us.
Absolutely. I was like, I love hanging out with my friends. You want me to hate hanging out with the boys? Absolutely not, babe. You can't take that from me.
We got pictures of milk and a yolk that someone needs to carry. I'm trying to podcast with my friend, babe.
I did a podcast here that I left work early to do. I left work early to do a podcast here, and that conversation with my wife was like, wait, you took the day off? Yeah, for what?
To talk about bisexuality
Yeah, I
on
was
a
gonna
podcast.
talk about gay sex on a podcast. She's like, cool, well, I'm gonna work all day. I'm like, good. Bring home that bacon, baby. I gotta goof with the gay boys. Goof with my boys.
Hey, babe, 577K. That's how many views.
Doing pretty good. That clip is doing pretty good, right?
Some of this is good.
I do like that it got the most popular because like the wrong side of Instagram found it.
Which
like,
is-
Oh, to be fair, I mean, it's just black dudes calling you gay.
yeah, it's black
hilarious.
guys calling me gay. And patriots. Patriots and black men. I would love to see them work together. That's the America they're afraid of, dude. That's the America the establishment's afraid of. But we found a way for them to bond. It's fucking hating gay people, dude. Fuck. That's why the CIA's gay now.
No. We do not endorse that.
That's the reason the CIA went gay is because they were like, oh shit, we're accidentally making an alliance between patriots and black
Are you
guys.
saying that Harvey Milk is a psyop to stop racial unity?
Harvey Milk was a pedophile.
Okay, all right. Next. I'm going to go ahead and just say, no say, I don't know. But let's go to the next one. Huh?
Literally the only thing I know about Harvey Milk
God, the
is that he
only thing-
dated a 16-year-old.
That's not true. You can't possibly only know that about
He
Harvey
was
Milk.
also killed by
You
a
can't-
right winger, right?
You possibly
Like a bigot.
you have to know at least
He was the
one
first
other
gay
fact
mayor
about
of
it.
San Francisco.
Okay, there you go.
Is that
That's two
right?
things.
Yeah.
That's two things.
I know three things. He was killed by a bigot. First gay mayor of San Francisco. Dated a 16-year-old when he was a grown man. It was a different time, right? Just like they say about Led Zeppelin. I still love the, oh, mama, just the way you move, gonna make you sweat, gonna make you groove. You know what
I mean, Seinfeld did it, right?
Seinfeld did it? Yeah. Wasn't that one 1738, though? Wasn't that the Fetty Wap? 1738.
Yeah, he was a Remy boy, bro. He was.
He did the Remy Boy number. Do you want to talk about
What's the deal?
We have 2 more topics
With
to cover.
Harvey Milk. He said, milk spoils at 17.
I'm pretty sure the caveat there is he was like 20 and the guy was 16 and they dated until that guy was like 20 or something like that.
He's just a groomer.
I might be remembering it wrong, but when you hear the whole story, it isn't as bad as you imagine. But right out the gate being like, yeah, the first gay politician dated a 16-year-old, it's like, whoa, okay.
Which
fuck,
I always
dude.
thought groomer was like he's like trying to wife up, you know?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, people I feel like are okay with it if you stick with it.
If you put a ring on it.
Yeah,
Woody Allen.
I was 21
Right.
when I
Like-
met my wife and she was 18.
Like venerable love hero, Woody Allen.
America's heartthrob. I was 21 when I met my
Hopeless
wife,
romantic.
and she was 18, and I definitely didn't groom her, but I did coach her up to be a perfect wife.
Right.
I did coach her up to be the exact woman I designed
Which,
in my mind.
let's be clear. Perfect wife is she's working all day.
She's
so
working,
You can do,
so I can do this. Yeah.
so you can talk about gay sex.
I
on
said
a
we're gonna
podcast.
get you a college degree. I got to talk about gay sex on a podcast.
I said I know you're working all night to get that college degree. I shouldn't have to fuck for free. Is all I'm saying.
I do art. She's kind of like the right. What's like left brain, right brain? Yeah. I'm a little more left brain. I'm talking about having gay sex on podcast. She's the
And-
more right brain. She pays rent.
She cries about Toby Keith's death.
My wife did cry about Toby Keith. She's like my best friend, but she's kind of the opposite of me. She's from a small town in Texas, and when she found out Toby Keith died, she came into my office, tears in her eyes, and I thought something happened. I stood up, I take off my little headset, I stand up, I go, babe, and she goes, Toby Keith died. And I go, oh, and I laugh, and she starts crying. I go, oh God, oh no, Toby. I was like, the Toby Keith that's like a friend of yours, or the Toby Keith that I know?
the Toby Keith whose plate is above our mantle.
Yeah, that Toby, man.
Oh, Toby. Tobias.
She was heartbroken. And I genuinely shocked that she was heartbroken. I've known her, what, like 10 years? I was shocked she was heartbroken by Toby Keith's death.
Red Solo Cup. Toby Keith?
Yeah. I told Sam, and he goes, did you die of cancer or something? Should have been a cowboy. He goes, man, that guy just should have been a cowboy.
Man, so much of this podcast is male shrieking.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No. Between you and me, I'm no better.
I sound like a woman that needs help when I laugh.
We're shrill men.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, what's funny is this is me, fake voice. Like, my real voice is higher, and I've spent years making my voice deeper. I'm not even joking right now. And when I get excited, my voice gets higher because the real
You're
voice
kind
comes
of like
out.
that Theranos bitch. You kind of like talk at a lower octave.
Who's
that we know.
Theranos, bitch? Oh, Elizabeth whatever?
Holmes.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Now that's a good wife. That's a good wife right there.
Honestly, yeah.
She made the blueprint. Of a good wife, dude. Little left brain, little right brain. You know what I mean? Should have been a cowboy. Now I'm making propaganda for Taliban shit. Man.
Uncle Sam.
I think political consciousness is simultaneously enjoying Katt Williams and Toby Keith.
I mean, that is the America that they don't want.
Yeah, that's what they're afraid of.
I done told you. There ain't no terrorists at the border. They making them at your schools. Honey boo boo. Every day you gotta drop off your baby. And they putting a bullet in his fingertips.
Dr. Jolly Rest wrote more curriculum for the elementary schools than any think tank in human history, baby.
They ain't apprehending them here.
Man, that made me sweat. That's really funny. I would love to hear Katt Williams talk about that.
I was doing Katt Williams in the car, but debating about what bands are and are not new metal. I already done told you. We took you to see Tool at the Moody Center. And now you're talking about securing the southern border. It's an election year, honey. Look it up. Wake up.
Look it up. Oh, man. That's so good.
They know the Ukraine war's old news and ain't working no more. They know that.
I worked with this guy that was QAnon, and when Ukraine
The
first
perfect
barked,
wife.
he goes, man, I was gonna go out there and fight, but He goes, the Marines rejected me because my tattoos. And I was like, wait, in the past 2 days, you reached out to the Marines and they rejected you for your tattoos? And he was like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, dude, I'm not going to dig anymore. That's as far as I can call it out. I don't know how the Marines work. But
Marines@hotmail.com.
dude, he goes, yeah, dude, they invaded yesterday. I get off work. I go to the Marine show store. And they see my tattoos and they go, yeah, dude, no, we're really strict on who's getting in the Army these days.
I PayPal'd them $7,000. And I submitted to 8 comedy festivals.
Do you remember soapboxcomedy.com?
No.
Dude, it's like an old school comedy. It might be still a thing, but they had this kind of scam that was like you pay it $200 and they'll just apply to every festival for you. And I knew a bunch of comedians that did it that like were like, I got screwed. I think it's soapboxcomedy.com. Just search Soapbox Comedy Festival submission or something like that.
Comedy soapbox.
Oh, it's a Steve Hofstetter thing. That's funny, if it's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, Marine destroys heckler.
Destroys.
Ukraine Marine destroys
heckler.
Donbass heckler.
Do you know what sucks?
What's that now?
Is that it was Tucker Carlson that interviewed Putin and not fucking someone cool and smart. Did you watch it yet? The 2-hour interview?
I have been, this is my fucking rebirth. I've been sick in bed the last couple days. I literally I was awake for maybe 90 minutes a day for like several days. And just in that, I would see my cousin, like put in her Instagram story, like her baby bouncing on her knee. And the caption was, "This is living." And it was a picture of Tucker interviewing Putin and her bouncing her baby on her knee.
Damn, DFW family, baby.
What can I say?
That rules, dude.
Cultura de Tejas. Let's go.
It's honestly a very honest interview. And, like, it sucks because if someone very critical and smart would have been there, they would have been able to push Putin and get really good critical answers. But instead, they just got Tucker Carlson. He goes, "Oh, really? Oh, really? So are you trying to say that the CIA usurps the president at times?" And Putin goes, you tell me, man. You what do you like? Putin's just like, I can't even deal with you, you idiot. It's rough.
I don't like that he laughs like us.
That Tucker Carlson, yeah. Do you know what sucks? Is I saw a video of someone confronting him while he was fishing in New York Park or whatever.
Okay.
And he's just like, seems like the chillest fucking dude. Just wants to talk to the guy about fishing. And he doesn't realize he's being confronted at first. Yeah, dude.
Ooh.
It sucks because the video is the most like, oh, this seems like a guy. So he's like fishing. He goes, "Hey, I didn't know you could fish here." Tucker goes, "Oh yeah, no, you can get a fishing permit." He goes, "Well, what can you catch?" And he starts explaining what you can catch and different baits he would use. And then the guy goes, "Fuck you." And Tucker Carlson goes, "Oh." And it's the most like, this seems like a guy that just seems like a chatty dude that you could talk to in line at a coffee shop and get along with. That sucks.
I could have taught him about the differences between grouper and striped bass. But instead, he hates me for my years and decades of propaganda and misinformation and cultural class division.
He also has an article about Gary Webb when Gary Webb was fucking murdered by the CIA. Did you know Gary Webb, the guy that like kind of broke the cocaine Contra connection?
Oh yeah.
He was a former DEA or CIA agent. He found dead by suicide with 2 bullet holes in the back of his head.
Like you do.
The ultimate award in journalism. And fucking Tucker Carlson writes an article.
Special.
Yeah. Tucker Carlson writes an article about how he is like a fake propagandist in the 80s. And it's like, yeah, dude. That alone is enough for me to go like, oh, you're a grifter piece of shit. Like that alone is learning the Gary Webb story and being like, yeah, dude, he put 2 bullets in the back of his own head. That alone is like, yeah, dude, I don't mess with you one bit.
Speaking of Clintonian suicides.
It's
so crazy. We manically just put hyperlinks in a Google Doc and send it to our producer, Jimmy, 10
I think
minutes
we might
after
have
we
a
should
mental
have.
illness, to be honest.
And yet we're able to kind of sew the needle through the camel's eye here.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow. The needle through the camel's eye. We're able to just sew this needle right through the camel's eye.
And what you people don't understand is that I'm on 1,000 milligrams of lithium a day. And I'm sleeping. I just spent 3 days sleeping off a manic episode. So I'm actually level and keen serene right now, bro.
And me, baby, my manic episode's just fucking starting.
He's my manic pixie dream girl.
Yeah. You can tell you're about to have a manic episode when it's like, I think all my friends are mad at me. I should do something very intense to get their attention. I think all my friends are mad at me. I should do something shocking so they all reach out to me.
I think I should cry for help.
Yeah. My friends don't even say I say howdy anymore. They go, what's your little cry for help for today?
There you go. This is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. Azerbaijani terrorists at the border. This is what we're doing now. Okay.
Oh man, I wish I was in a NASCAR instead of like.
the hell up.
I do. I wish my brain wasn't broken. I wish my brain didn't have the demon in me that goes, wait a second, what happened at Container Bar? I'm gonna think about this for the next 10
Container
years.
bar.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's our next bullet.
I
Yeah,
think,
I think we should end on Container Bar though.
deal. I think the best intro.
You're like, let's.
Oh, are we out of time?
Yeah, we're out of time. We
Should we
have
just
like
end it
maybe
in Container Bar next
10
time?
minutes
We can
left
edit
of
out
footage available.
Okay, how about we just explain a little thesis about one of the reasons why we enjoy doing this show.
Probably what got this show together was this initial conversation. Let's pull up the phrase from the article that is like, oh, what is it? It says, what was the
It's
phrase
the
that we were
top
talking about?
hyperlink. If you go all the way up on the Google Doc, right there, that one. Yeah. One of the reasons why we like doing this podcast based in Austin, Texas, is because of the amount of conspiracies and dark stories that have happened in the city. Right now, there's a serial killer on the loose who's dropping male bodies in our town lake. There are multiple strange mass killings. One of the most interesting stories is this former FBI agent who committed suicide on Rainey Street, laughably.
The question is, who goes out with their friends from work and commit suicide in front of them in the middle of a dance floor while drinking? The answer is a former Wall Street trader who's an FBI agent that was on the head of the federal security investigation for the Clinton administration. That's who. That's who kills themselves in front of friends while out on the town
That's
at
right.
work.
That's right, JT.
A supervisory special agent in the FBI's complex financial crimes unit.
Salvatore Sal Cincinelli. We're going to talk more about Salvatore Cincinelli. We have run out of time.
He's
Next
the
episode.
thesis of this podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. We do want to look, because this is the story that has been just swept under the rug. And you can walk to where this happened from the comedy club in which we're recording this podcast now.
The interesting thing about the reports is there is no police report from this event. The other aspect is from, according to people that were there, FBI agents and police were asking them to delete any videos and photos they had on their phones, even some people claiming that their phones were taken from them so that they could delete footage. How insane is that? We got to find out what went down. My only goal in life is to raise enough money to hire like the best PI in the world to investigate this guy Sal.
We're going to look more into it, guys. In the meantime, pussy, money, weed, protect your minds. We'll see you soon. I'm Sam Castillo.
JT Kelley.
Thank you.
Mota dinero. Coquita.
Bye-bye.